Hi, I'm Dylan Chavez, and today we're going to be looking at a case from a company called Loki. It's their Ghost S1 case, and it's about, as big as a shoebox. So, before we actually get into talking about the case, let's start with the components I actually have to put inside of here. So, starting off with the CPU, it's going to be the Intel i7-6700K. It's 4 cores and 8 threads, so it's a nice solid CPU to use. To start off with this guy, since it is such a small case and heat is a problem, I am actually going to delid this guy. So essentially, this metal heat spreader right here, I'm going to pull off, add liquid metal to it, and then pretty much drop the temperatures down by quite a bit to help with thermals. So to actually take the IHS off of the CPU itself, we're going to need this guy right here. It's the DeBauer D-Lid Dimate 2. So this uses shear mechanical force when you put the CPU in here to actually slide this off and pull the CPU IHS off. That way you can actually get to the CPU and actually add liquid metal, better thermal paste to actually improve temperatures. So installing the actual CPU into the D-Lid Dimate 2, on the CPU itself, it has a little triangle right there, and on the D-Litter, it has a triangle right there also. So pretty much line that up, pop her in, like so. Put what's called the smasher, slide her right on top of there. Take the nut and bolt, screw it on like so. Just go by hand first, get it hand tight, then pretty much take the included Allen key with that, and then just start twisting. And pretty much keep going till you feel a slight pop, and there it is. Back it out. And then like so, get to the CPU itself. Here you can clean off whatever else you have on there, then add on what you want to put there. Like what I'm going to do is liquid metal. So after you take apart the CPU and take out the IHS, always remember to clean it off as best you can. Also, any silicone gasket sealer on there, scrape it off, get it as clean as possible, make sure there's no extra gappage in there. Now we're just going to apply the liquid metal, add silicone sealant, and then seal it back together and let it sit. I'm going to be using Thermal Grizzly Conductonaut. It has high TBD conductivity, and it will transfer heat extremely well. But this is dangerous, so if it touches any of the PCB right here, it will short out your CPU and then you're out God knows how many dollars. So a good step to take is to add a conformal coating to it. Does an extra barrier protection when you add it on there. So just be as gentle as possible. Get it in the center of the CPU. That is actually more than needed. So you can just suck the rest of it back up inside. There we go. And with the kit you would get with the Conductonaut, it does come with Q-tips that you can use to actually spread it. So it's pretty much take your time, be careful, spread it out evenly. You don't want any little puddles at all, because when you put it back together, it can cause it to seep out, cause it to short out. You do want to get it all over the CPU die. Just making sure, like I said, no puddles whatsoever. You pretty much want to do the same on top of the IHS also. The next part is just resealing it. Next step is putting it back in the delitter tool, making sure to line the triangle up with the triangle. Get it lined up like so. Get the CPU IHS back on there. Being extremely gentle. Kind of get it lined up by hand. Then you can take this little tool right here, make sure it actually is lined up properly. Then take this clamp right here, on like so, then tighten her down. When it stops turning, give it just an extra quarter turn, make sure it's in place. Then lift that up, set it off to the side, and then let it sit. So next we're going to talk about the motherboard that I have. So So this is the Asus Z270i motherboard. It's a mini ITX motherboard, pretty much the only thing that'll fit inside this case. So it gives you 2 RAM slots, your expansion card slot, more than enough I/O for any standard user. Plus the nice thing is, since I usually take this wherever I go, whether going to a friend's house, play games, playing movies, it actually has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so that's extremely nice to have. Plus the design is very minimalistic, very uniformed, and just the nice metal accents there really add to the build. Now going on to the storage that I have. This is from a company called Plextor, slots right into the motherboard, plus it's 1 terabyte and it's NVMe, which is super fast, loads everything up instantly. Plus, less cable management that I have to do later on. So we're going to talk about the system memory here. So I have Ripjaws 5 from G.SKILL. It's DDR4 memory rated at 3200 MHz speed, so it's really fast, and probably the average that most people buy. Now they look a little bit funny right now because I had to rip off their heat spreader to be able to fit inside this case with the CPU cooler I have. But kind of the things you have to do when you go to something this small. Doesn't affect performance, whatever. It's just nice black PCB, so it matches along with everything relatively nicely. So like I said before when I was talking about the memory that I had to rip the heat spreader off for the cooler, it would be on this guy. It's an ID Cooling IS60. Really low profile cooler, needed for this guy in the case. Has 6 heat pipes, can really tame the beast of that CPU when it gets really hot under intensive loads. Now I did add a new fan to it. It's a Noctua NFF12 in black, just to make it monochromatic, match the color scheme. This way it's a little bit more efficient, and plus the fan is really quiet, even when it ramps up to like higher speeds. So getting on to one of the other components I have for the PC is going to be the GPU. It's a GTX 1070 from Asus. It's their Strix series. It has 8GB of VRAM, so it can handle really high video output like 1440p, no issue. So especially if you like to game a lot, this is a really nice card to have. Triple fan design, so it keeps it very cool and quiet. And until this thing gets under intensive load, the fans don't spin up whatsoever. And plus, if you like pretty colors, it does have RGB, so you can change it up a little bit. Now getting to the power supply that I have for this PC, it's Corsair's SF750. It's an SFX size PSU, so it's extremely small, it's very power efficient, it's platinum rated, so the fan doesn't spin up until it hits about, if I remember, like 30-40% load. Other nice thing about this guy, with it being fully modular, it only uses the cables that I need to put inside here to reduce cable clutter. That way the aesthetics looks a lot nicer, and reduce temperature so there's not a lot of obstruction for the airflow. Alright, now getting to the main part of this PC and why I chose everything that I have shown you before. This is the Ghost S1 from Loki. It is a mini ITX case, pretty much, like I said before, no bigger than an entire shoebox. Nice thing that I like about it, it's all aircraft aluminum, super light, super durable, and then, of course, my favorite part of the case, popping off the top here to actually look inside all the stuff that I put inside of there. And then also, favorite part, side panels come off so it's easy access. Now that I got pretty much a rundown of everything, let's put it together.
thing is finally put together. It was a bit of a pain. It's super tight to fit everything in there, like I said before. But managed to get everything crammed in there. It works amazingly. And as you can see, lights up like fireworks. Overall, I couldn't be happy with this thing. It's beautiful. It's what I've always wanted to have in a PC. And now that it's more portable, I can definitely carry it around places a lot easier. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.